Welcome back to Northwest City Politics in the Know with Juanita. We're glad that you're joining us again this week. We're always happy that there are people like you out there, people that are interested in what's happening in their cities. If you haven't watched our program before, each week we'll have someone on from one of the 9 cities in CCX's viewing area to fill us in on what are the current happenings and areas that they're working on in that particular city. And then we always encourage you, if it's your city, take down the email and the phone number, and if any of the issues resonate with you, be sure to get in touch with your city council and your mayors and keep some dialogue going. So we're very glad that you're with us tonight, and we're glad to welcome John Elder from New Hope City Council.
Thank you very much.
Been a little while since we've been on, but
it has been. Yeah, I'm very happy to be back. Thank you for the opportunity.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Now, you know that I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself out to our wider audience.
Yeah. My name's John Elder. I have lived in New Hope for 30 years.
Ah.
Yeah, 30 years. I was a police officer in town from 1999 to 2006. And in 2007, a midterm opportunity came to apply to be on the council.
Right.
Steve Summer moved out of the area, and his seat became vacant. So 9 other people and I went through a series of an application process and interviews, and very thankfully I was selected to be on the council. I served on the council from May of '07 until November of '07 when I got to run for that seat for the last 2 years.
Right.
2007 I was elected to the council. And I've been reelected each of the times since then.
Yeah, so you have a unique history with the city, right?
I do. I think it's really helped me understand and see things a little bit differently than the average person coming into the council.
So it takes a city council with a lot of different backgrounds is really good because it gives you different ideas than you might get from just everybody with the same kind of background.
Absolutely, and some of the things that I've gotten to do while on the council is serve on the West Metro Fire District Board of Directors, the Bassett Creek Watershed Management System Commission, and I get to serve on the 7 Dreams Board of Directors, which I will be stepping off of because their meetings conflict with the fire department meetings. And I'm one of the founding members of the New Hope Community Farmers Market.
That if somebody were looking for a place to buy a new home, what would you tell to people why they should buy it in New Hope?
Well, I may be a little biased, but
that's okay.
yeah. I'm really proud of our town, proud of where we've been, where we're at, and the path that this city is on right now. We have aggressively been pursuing redevelopment in the city center. With the construction of the new Hy-Vee, both the grocery store and the gas station, the North Memorial Medical Clinic, and bringing back the first Dunkin' Donuts to the state of Minnesota as their resurgence. We have a lot of new housing options for people for all ends of the spectrum. We have single-family homes in the Centra home area, which is also known as Parkview, the Aladdis luxury apartment complex, and we're really working on our scattered site housing development projects. And within the last couple of years, we've worked on and had constructed a really nice Compass Point apartment complex that were market rate and also for workforce housing. So really, it's a real nice variety of homes that are available. One of the things that I hear pretty regularly in New Hope is how good our roads are. We have a really aggressive pavement management plan, and it's interesting because if one of our roads falls into disrepair, people speak up. People are not shy about it because they're not used to that in New Hope. Roads in New Hope are very, very well maintained. And we're committed to doing that. We're committed to having that. There's a great park system. We have 22 city parks. We have ball fields, school fields, We have a 9-hole golf course, and we have an ice arena
Right.
that serves the whole Northwest metro area and even the state of Minnesota. City services are ranked very, very high. Each year we do a study,
Oh, right.
and our city services consistently rank very high. And we have an environmentally aware government, and we're very active in the Green Steps program, and so there's a lot of things that are going on in New Hope that people can move here and be proud of to be a part of.
Right. And I thought we'll start with the West Metro Fire Department because you've been part of that. Some people might not be aware of kind of a little bit about the history of it, how it got to be. We don't need a lot, but so
Sure.
that people out there that, what's the West Metro Fire Department?
Yeah, and that's very confusing. In 1998, Crystal had their own fire department, New Hope had their own
Right.
fire department. We had all sorts of duplicate services being provided for 2 smaller communities.
Right.
And the thought was we can merge the departments and really have it be a savings, more economical, and more efficient. And the two departments merged, and there were a lot of growing pains.
Oh,
There
yeah.
really were. And some really good people early on worked through a lot of those growing pains. Again, that was in 1998.
Right.
So we got the 2 departments together. We've been moving forward with it, and now it's hard to even remember when they were separate.
Right, right. And now, what is the makeup of the board of directors on something like that? Because this is a joint powers agreement, if I remember the
It
right
is
term?
exactly
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, New Hope is allowed 3 members.
Okay.
Crystal's allowed 3 members, and there's there's the 7th member who doesn't belong to either city, doesn't reside in either city, is not an employee of either city. Truly somebody who is just a 7th member, and none of us are paid for the service.
Right,
There's the way it's structured, 2 of the 3 from each city. 1 is a council member. 1 can be another council member or a citizen.
okay.
And the 3rd person on the city is their city manager. Crystal has a council member, a citizen rep, and their city manager.
Right.
New Hope, based upon the strong budget implications of the fire district, what that has on each of the city budgets, New Hope has chosen to do 2 council members and a city manager. The 7th board member is a gentleman by the name of Gary Laurent.
Right.
Phenomenal person.
Yes, he's done a good job.
Oh, he's wonderful, and truly is an independent
Yeah.
7th vote, and can be the tiebreaker if cities are really
Right.
dug in on city lines. So it's been a very productive group.
And then, so people know a little bit about the structure of the department, who's what, and the type of job classifications there are?
You bet. We have a fire chief who is identical to a police chief, except they do fire.
Right.
And they're responsible for the day-to-day operations of the department, the vision of the department, and to do the big picture planning for the department. It's really an important role.
Oh, yes.
We have 3 assistant chiefs. 1 handles logistics, 1 handles administration, and the 3rd handles IT and training. And the training that our firefighters are receiving is truly second to none. Before we had the Kmart torn down,
Right.
the fire department built a little city inside of Kmart and went in and did smoke drills
Right.
and blindfolded drills like they would just if they were in a
Oh,
regular
right,
fire.
right.
Very realistic training, very high quality training. It is a fantastic department. We have 1 battalion chief who's responsible for records management, the fire academy, our CERT team, basically it's a public liaison.
Right.
And then we have 1 deputy fire marshal who's in charge of inspections. And with all of this redevelopment and building this happening in New Hope, she's got her hands full.
Oh, yes.
So
right.
those are all the full-time fire staff. They are responsible for being first responders for fires during the day. Our department is based on a volunteer status. Whereas they do get paid, they're not required to be at the station or responding X number of hours a week. They're responsible for making a percentage of the calls that come out, and we literally have had issues getting people that are available during the day to respond to fires.
Harder and harder, I think.
Yeah, and so these full-time folks are responsible for responding to and extinguishing fires and during the daytime. And that model has been very, very successful for us.
Now, if people out there, because I think all of our cities that have volunteer ones need volunteers, right? Maybe you can talk a little bit about the steps if somebody's kind of interested in finding out, what does this involve if I were on the fire department?
Contact the West Metro Fire District, and their telephone number is 763-230-7030. And they can get you all the information as well as their website, and that will have all that information. Very helpful.
And then, do you hear anything from residents either way about your fire department?
Yes, absolutely. Our department has been very, very active in education and fire prevention. They're in the schools. They're out at block parties. They go out for National Night Out. They do an awful lot of education and training. A lot of positive feedback on that. Everybody loves a firefighter. Everybody loves a firefighter.
I think so,
In fact, the cops joke and say, if we want people to like us, we're going to say we're firefighters. 67% of the people who were surveyed in 2017 said our fire services are either excellent or good. Now, that's not really all that true of a number, because unless you have called the fire department or used their services, you're not able to really adequately give an answer to that. So whereas 67% of the people said, they're fabulous, 31% of the people didn't answer. And that's good. And that's positive.
Well, now let's switch and talk a little bit about road construction in 2018. You talked a little bit about that you have a plan for it. How does the city determine which roads you're going to work on and what ones will be coming up this summer?
Well, we have a 10-year pavement improvement plan. And every year, every roadway is traveled, graded, and checked to make sure that it's on the plan when it needs to be. It makes most sense for us to do blocks of areas at a time. Just for transportation costs, moving materials, things like that. That is economically the best way to do it. We have a lot of stuff coming up this year. And that's going to be great when it's all done. But it can be frustrating as a motorist. Absolutely.
If you live in that neighborhood.
Absolutely. But some of these are going to be our main roads. Boone, between 42nd and Medicine Lake Road, is going to undergo what's called a mill and overlay. And a mill and overlay means they grind off the top 2 inches of the pavement. They make spot repairs as needed in the roadway. They do some very small work where curbs and gutters need to be replaced. And then they come back and they put 2 inches back over it. It's a great way of extending the life of a road. It looks really nice when it's done.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. That is likely to occur late May through early June. I strike that until the end of June. So we'll figure about 4 weeks for that. So that's really kind of the number one thing that we're doing. The cities of Crystal and New Hope are partnering to do the section of 36th Avenue from Winnetka down to Louisiana. Both cities have land on each side of that street. So Crystal and New Hope are working together to get this completely redone. If you drive that roadway now, it's in tough shape.
Yeah, it needs some work. I can verify that.
Their city will also be crack filling about 18 miles of roadway in the city this coming year, and that's usually a late summer, early fall project. As well as there will be about 7 miles of seal coating and seal coat and fog sealing on about 7 miles of roadway.
And then there were going to be some changes that you were going to make on Boone in regards to what was there.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 bump outs. And a bump out is like what you see outside of Sonneson Elementary, where it actually bumps out to the roadway.
Right.
And in front of Sonneson right now, we have just the plastic pilings that ensure people move over.
Right.
It makes traffic slow down. It's called a speed calming technique. Slows down, and that's where kids cross Boone to go to school. So that's really, really helpful. The bump outs now, instead of being the pilings, are going to be cement. They're going to be cement curbing. So it's going to be more definite, more obvious. A little bit more difficult to plow in the winter.
Yeah, I suppose.
But our folks will know that it's there, and they'll be ready and prepared to do it. These 3 bump outs are going to be in front of the Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion, the old Sunny Hollow for those of us of that age, Sonneson Elementary, and Northwood Park. There will also be no parking on the east side of the road. They are going to be putting in a bike lane there, and parking will be on the west side. And so it's going to be continuing with our complete streets programming that we have for our roadways to make our roadways usable by all residents. Car, pedestrian, bicycle. So.
And some roads get municipal state aid. And maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
You bet. Municipal state aid roads are roads that are usually the busier roads in our city. And they are roads that we are able to draw money from the state on for maintenance and repair. And what happens is you request this money before you do the work, so you know exactly for budgeting purposes what you're going to be able to do, what you're not, how much you're able to get. And the majority of the Boone project is going to be paid out of that funding.
And 36th Avenue, is that kind of road or not?
36 is also a portion of that, yes. Be wonderful.
All of the cities around the metro area have that kind of
absolutely they do.
Difference between the roads.
Correct.
Some are county, some are state, some are city, right?
Exactly.
Now, I thought we'll put on the screen that people can find updates on what's happening in regards to their roadway. Where should they look?
They should look at the site, the address is 2018 infrastructure improvements.wordpress.com is the website.
Yeah, I'll get that and we'll put that on
Perfect.
On the screen.
Absolutely. It's https 2018 infrastructure improvements.wordpress.com.
Because a lot of times that will help a lot. If you're wondering what's going on and have a place that you can look at, it can work to solve some problems.
Gone are the days where the government just does what the government wants to do.
That's true.
and the residents will just have to figure it out. And it's thanks to shows like yours that allow us the opportunity to connect with residents to say, hey, not this is happening, but this is going to happen.
Right.
This is the impact. These are the trees that may come down as a result of this. This is the traffic delays. These are the workarounds. These are the projected start dates. And as we go on through our projects, they're continually updated so people can get real-time information about the projects.
Right.
Very important. People will tolerate a lot more of what you tell them than what you don't tell them.
That's true. Very true.
And it's a respect thing, and it's accountability. It's providing professional service. And
so when should all of that road work be done by? This is projecting.
First snowfall? No. The projects will be done by the fall.
Okay.
Now, Boone will be done before Duck Days, and 36 will be done late June.
Okay.
So, and again, our seal coating, our fog seal, and the crack fill will be done by fall.
Now, another topic is redevelopment.
Yep.
All of our cities have that going. And probably one of the biggest ones happening now that people can watch is Lattice, which is an apartment complex near the golf course on Medicine Lake Road. Maybe you can give a little history on this project too.
Yeah, well, it's on Bass Lake Road and Yukon, and seeing this is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun when we first started talking about this. And what happened was in 2008, the city purchased a property that had 12-unit apartment buildings on it. And they were horribly blighted.
Right.
And were the source of a fair amount of law enforcement resource, kind of a strain.
Right.
And so the city bought those for redevelopment in 2008. Well, we had the financial, issues of
hit everybody.
of the late 2000 through 2010, and we ended up having that land.
Right.
And there was nobody interested in building on it at that time. The city then put together a request for proposal and marketed it to a lot of different developers.
Right.
One of the companies that came back is by the name of Lattice.
Right.
And they were really excited about this. And they did a study of the city, and they said, one of the things that you don't have are luxury apartments. And you look at it, and they're 100% right.
Right.
And so they came forward with a proposal for luxury apartments, and they are building a $43 million building, 183-unit market rate apartment complex at that site. And before we actually agreed to have them do this, we went and toured a number of their actual facilities.
Right.
And they do beautiful work. And talking to a number of the people who reside there that we saw just walking in and out, I asked, what is it like? How's the construction? How are the people to deal with? Are the is all the equipment here working? Is it upkept? And the answers were, it's wonderful. And I got more and more excited about this opportunity. What this does is this allows people who want to move into the city. It allows them a nice, a luxury place to live if that fits their lifestyle.
Right on the golf course.
Absolutely. And it also allows people who are maybe in their homes, my wife and I. We have children in our 20s. I'm figuring they're going to move out sometime. And we may want to have that sort of a living as we're getting on in our years. This provides people the opportunity to do that. They have been an extremely good corporate citizen. They have been very, very excited to be here. And they're even interested in doing something in conjunction with our golf course, which a number of their places overlook. And so the name of the facility is now Ironwood. And they have the first 4 floors almost all the way up. They're working on enclosing it, and they're just going to town building this.
So what is the timeline, or what's left to get done? Because people driving down Bass Lake Road can definitely see it now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The opening date is projected for sometime in December of this year. There have been very, very few delays in the construction process.
They did have to do some pilings there, right?
Yeah, I think they did about 700 pilings. One of the things that we knew was problematic with that property, and so many of the soils in New Hope for this sort of a building, was the soils. It was just horrible.
Right.
And we found that in our city hall project, which we'll discuss in a bit.
Right.
But they had to drill in 700 pilings to make sure that this building was on stable and sound ground. And you know what? The residents were fantastic. The residents knew, we briefed them, we warned them, we told them about it.
Right.
Alatis reached out to them, and there were really very few complaints. And Alatis was a strong partner in making sure that everybody was aware of it.
Right. Now, are there future redevelopments being considered for that land kind of north of the ice arena? Because I know at one point there was work in there, and then the recession.
Right.
So what's possible there, or what's the city thinking of?
Right now, we are looking at doing a single-family home development for that area. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to put together a request for proposal, marketing it out to developers again.
And then the other, we mention every now and then about the fact that you can join and help your city by becoming a member of one of the commissions.
Absolutely.
So maybe you can tell the commissions that are in New Hope for people.
You bet. You bet. Our commissions include the Citizens Advisory Commission, the Human Rights Commission, the Personnel Board, and the Planning Commission. And each of these commissions do separate things for the city. They are all, with the exception of the Personnel Board, they are all advisory commissions to the council.
Right.
These commissions can research things, they can look at things, they can come up with projects, and they can make recommendations to the council whether or not how the council should move on things. We don't always take it. I mean, we take their information, and as we look at it, and you know, we have a deeper understanding of budgets and things like that, so that you know. But the commissions are also a great group of citizens who are volunteering their time and helping make this a better community. I mean, we on the council would not have the time or the energy to do all of the selfless work that these folks are doing. They're wonderful.
Yeah, they bring information so you can make good decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's they don't. Most of them don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call. And there are people in these commissions that have specialties in areas that I have no knowledge on, and so I've been educated by a number of these folks, and that's wonderful. I don't have enough time to say great things about them.
Yeah,
they're
so
great.
I want to encourage people out there, if they're thinking at all about maybe I should get more involved in my studies, you know, check into the commissions. They can look online for information on their meetings, when they're going to be, what their the minutes of their meetings, and they can also go visit those commissions.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you so much for helping our audience out there learn about what's happening in New Hope. And we'll ask you all to tune in next week for part 2 on New Hope's issues. We're glad that you've been with us, and we hope you'll join us again. Bye.